January 1st, 1981. St. Paul, Minnesota is blanketed in snow. Fresh flakes drift silently onto empty streets as New Year's revelers call it a night. Inside the police station, officers sip coffee, counting down the hours of an uneventful shift until 3 a.m. The switchboard rings, breaking the silence. An officer answers, frowning as he listens. The caller's voice, a man, sounds strained, high-pitched, almost trembling, distressed, almost crying. "This is an emergency," the man says. "Please send a squad to Pierce Butler Road, Malburg Manufacturing Company, and send an ambulance. There's a girl hurt there." The officer asks questions, trying to piece together the situation. "What happened? Where is she?" "She's on the ground by the railroad tracks at the entrance," the man replies, his voice growing more frantic. "Hurry! What's the address?" the officer presses. "I don't know." "Who are you?" Silence. Squad cars rush to Pierce Butler Road. What they find there shakes even the most hardened officers. A naked woman lies motionless in a snowbank, her body battered, her head and neck brutally injured. The wounds are so severe that parts of her brain are exposed. One officer kneels beside her, checking for a pulse, bracing for the worst. Relief washes over him. She's alive, barely, but the man who made the call is gone. Who is he? A mysterious Good Samaritan or something more sinister? It will take 16 years before police uncover his identity, revealed in a shocking deathbed confession. By then, the world will know him as someone entirely different, the Weepy-Voiced killer. Welcome to Veil, where we uncover the chilling stories hidden beneath the surface. This is the story of Paul Michael Stephani, a man whose voice pleaded for help, yet left a trail of bloodshed in his wake. The early hours of the new year drag on in St. Paul. Paramedics lift the woman from the snowbank, rushing her to the hospital, while detectives scour the scene for answers. Who is she? Why was she attacked? And where is the man who called it in? They find her clothes nearby, scattered across the snow. In the pocket of her jeans, they discover her ID. Her name is Karen Potak, a 20-year-old college student. A call to her family reveals she had been out celebrating New Year's Eve with her sisters. At some point, Karen decided to walk home alone. That decision almost cost her life. Karen's injuries are severe, her attack frenzied. Buttons from her blouse are found scattered 60 feet from her body. But there's little evidence to work with. The man who called remains the only witness, and he hasn't come forward. Against the odds, Karen survives. Slowly, she regains consciousness, but her memory is fractured. She remembers nothing about the attack or the person responsible. With no leads, the case goes cold. For now. 5 months later, it will snap back into focus, and when it does, the police will face a terrifying realization. They might have a serial killer in their midst. June 3rd, 1981. Summer is in the air, and St. Paul is alive with activity. On the outskirts of town, a group of teenagers head to a field near an unfinished stretch of highway. One of them brings a football, and they play catch, tossing high arcs under the warm sun. They spread out, their laughter carried on the breeze, until a bad throw sends the ball bouncing into the underbrush. One boy jogs over, peering into the long grass, but it's not the football he finds. It's a flash of bright red. The boy steps closer, the flash of red catching his eye. Curiosity drives him forward, but what he finds stops him cold. A young woman's body lies face down in the grass, lifeless. Panicked, the boys race to call the police. Soon, the quiet field is crawling with officers, their flashlights sweeping through the undergrowth. But the scene offers little to explain who she is or what happened to her. The body is moved to the medical examiner's office. The autopsy reveals a horrific truth: 61 stab wounds. The weapon? An ice pick. A choice so unusual it will become a vital clue in the days ahead. During the examination, detectives notice something pressed against the woman's skin: a locker key. With no other leads, the key becomes their best hope of identifying her. They trace it to the Greyhound bus depot. Inside the locker, they find 2 bags. Among the clothes and books is an ID. Her name was Kimberly Compton. She was only 18 years old. Kimberly had just arrived in St. Paul earlier that day. leaving her small Wisconsin hometown to search for a job. Her family describes her as trusting, friendly, and full of hope. But her first day in the city became her last. 2 days later, the switchboard at the St. Paul Police Department buzzes again. The voice on the other end is unmistakable, high-pitched, trembling, and distressed. "Will you find me? I can't stop myself," the man cries. "I keep killing somebody. I don't know why I had to stab her." At first, officers are skeptical. Prank calls are common, even about serious cases. But then the man adds a chilling detail. "I just stabbed someone with an ice pick." This detail hasn't been released to the public. Kimberly Compton's murder weapon was an ice pick. The realization hits. This is no prank. They're speaking to Kimberly's killer. Police scramble to trace the call, but the man hangs up before they can lock on to his location. Then, 2 hours later, the phone rings again. "Don't talk, just listen," the man pleads, his voice thick with emotion. "I'm sorry for what I did to Compton. I couldn't help it." Any remaining doubt vanishes. This man killed Kimberly Compton. But then his tone shifts, almost casual. "I'll try not to kill anybody else," he says. The line clicks dead. This time, though, the man made a mistake. He stayed on long enough for the call to be traced. It came from a phone booth at the bus depot. Officers race through the city, sirens piercing the night. When they arrive, the booth is empty. Interviews with witnesses yield nothing. No one remembers seeing anyone suspicious. Efforts to dust for prints fail. Too many people have used the booth to isolate any one set. Even surveillance over the next few days comes up empty. But police still have one lead: the phone calls. Why would a killer confess? Does he genuinely want to be stopped? Or is this part of a twisted game? The voice is unforgettable. Investigators start combing through old recordings of calls linked to unsolved cases.